Guys, some grim-ass news today. Semi-political came out. It's nationwide, and it is just terrible. Did you guys hear about this manatee that somebody had carved the word Trump into the back of it, and then it was photographed? And now
I did. I didn't even click on it because I didn't want to see it. I saw the headline and was a little too bummed because I love it.
It's not good. It's infuriating. There's actually a post on our Reddit. People are really riled up about this. It's bullshit. Forrest?
Yeah, and they should be. Look, I don't care who your fucking political party is. I don't care what your agenda is. I don't give a shit what you believe. Don't fucking try and carve it into animals. I don't care who you stand for, what you stand for, just don't fucking do this, you know? Don't defile things. But I will say this. Yeah, look at that. It's so stupid.
Well, also, real quick, let me just say.
Yeah, please.
Let's not assume that this is Republicans against Democrats. You know, this could have been anyone. This could have been someone who hates Trump, who wanted to get, so whoever did it.
Just don't fucking do it. You're just a shithead if you do something like this. But the one thing I wanted to point out is this. So this popped out today, right, this morning, and there was news headlines everywhere, right? I probably had 200 different people send it to me on social media. I mean, everybody's talking about it. People are raving about it. The headlines all read, person carves Trump into manatee. Okay? Mm-hmm. You do me a favor and find a manatee that's going to sit still for a carving, because that's not carved.
Wondering.
Yeah,
that's what it doesn't look like it's carved at all, right?
It's not carved. And I'm not trying to downplay the severity of this, because you shouldn't do this. It's a shitty thing to do. But the manatees are covered in a grime and algae layer, right? They have it because they rest on the bottom, they sleep on the bottom, they move incredibly slowly. You can even see the barnacles growing on this one. So they get covered in this grime and algae layer. And what someone has done is swum up to probably a sleeping one, and with their fingers, as you can see the marks, has just carved, Trump. The truth is, and again, I'm not promoting this. No one should be fucking doing this. The truth is, this story is super over-sensationalized. This animal probably napped through the entirety of someone coming along with their fingers and scraping some algae off it. Probably didn't even know it was going on and then swam off, end of story. What we should be focusing on, again, this is fucking shitty, don't do it, but what we should be focusing on is that year over year in areas like Crystal Springs, where this probably took place, and all of that panhandle of Florida, where these incredible, stunning creatures come into this clear water to get out of the cold ocean and reproduce. Year after year, their mortality rates are going up from impact from boats. Their habitat is shrinking. People are hitting them with boats. They're getting damaged and injured. That is the bigger fucking story. And things like this actually piss me off, because just because it was associated with a political party, it's fucking massive headline news and it's overblown about being carved. It's fucking bullshit. Like, someone scratched some words and some letters into this thing. It's shitty. I get it. It's not nearly as important or as significant as the fact that these animals are facing real harm from boat props. They're losing their habitat. Year after year, more and more of them are getting damaged and destroyed. When I dove with these creatures in Crystal River, 1 out of every 5 was chopped up from fucking boat propellers. That's what we should be talking about. That's the headline that people need to be fucking singing, and the stuff we need to be changing. Not because someone scratched some fucking algae off something and wrote a political figure's name in it. That's my rant.
Well, it's good, though, because even though we're talking about it because of the headline, but you're getting out some better points, I think. And we're talking about it because it's in the news, man. So hopefully people watch this video, even though there's this secret underneath the headline, there's this bigger issue that people should be focusing on.
Well, the other thing, is that this was a gold mine of opportunity for media outlets, right? Because it said Trump. Because it was so bizarre. And the fact that look, we talk about it all the time. There's fake news, obviously, on both sides. Doesn't matter if you're fucking liberal or Republican.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. But just the fact that they use the word carved, you have to look at this for 1 second to know that no knife was used.
Right.
Still bad. Don't touch a fucking manatee.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, what a bunch of fucking assholes.
I mean, if someone had written
the
Dick
article
on there,
probably
or
doesn't
I love
mention
Sarah,
anything about manatees losing their habitat, or
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They can't stop them from getting hit by boats.
Yeah. That's some
so
bullshit. I mean, that's
if it literally said "I love Sarah" or "fucking Dick" or something like that on there, it wouldn't even be news. No one would have even reported it. It's only because there's a president's name on there during such a highly controversial, conflicting time in our society when it comes to politics that this is news, and nobody's fucking talking about the bigger problem. Like, just stop it, people. Like, stop it, shitty news outlets. You know, like just. Talk about, like, the animals that need help, not somebody that scratched fucking 5 letters into this thing. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Let me ask you this. So, obviously, the way that those barnacles are triggers probably most people. The thought of being covered in barnacles, right?
Okay.
It looks just like a horrific scabies or rash.
Sure.
It's really disgusting. I mean, imagine if you woke up and looked down and you had barnacles growing on your arm. You'd probably cut your arm off. Is this a symbiosis? Does the manatee get anything out of this, or are they just simply leeching off the manatee, the barnacles?
Yeah, no, this is not a symbiotic relationship. This is I believe it's called commensalistic, where only one of the two is benefiting, and that one is the barnacle. In fact, the manatee is very minorly but negatively impacted because it creates drag on the animal, and it probably itches like hell, and they need to, rub up against trees and scratch it off, etc. But no, there's, the barnacles, they're just growing there because they can, and that furthers the point that these animals are so sedentary and so slow moving, that barnacles can literally, because barnacle has a pelagic larva, right, that floats around in the free water column until it settles on something, and then it can grow. So if you're a fish that's swimming around, it can never settle, right? If you're a manatee that's snoozing on the bottom, it can settle and has all that grime and muck, and it can start to grow. So that's, it's the barnacle's not doing anything good for the manatee, and in fact, it's probably a bit of an inconvenience.
Do we need them? I mean, do we need them?
What
barnacles?
are you talking about? They're clearly the giant potato of the sea.
No, barnacles, not manatees.
We're talking about barnacles.
Like,
we do need them. They clear our waterways. They're filter feeders. They're helpful in getting rid of dead planktons and things like that.
Okay,
but we don't need them on manatees. So just settle elsewhere, barnacles. Just go to a nice pure pylon. Leave the manatees alone.
Yeah, go settle on Forrest Boat. Just right on the bottom.
Right.
All of
yeah,
them.
dicks.
All right. Well, good to chat, guys. Love these dailies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I wore the same shirt 3 days in a row, but that's what I've done.
It happens. Whatever.
Love you
This
guys.
was a good one. I'm glad people get to listen and hear me rant and get hysterical over manatee headlines and sensationalist media.
Well, absolutely. And we're going to drop a link to somewhere where you can support manatees in this video. So check that out. We're not going to be one of those asshole news outlets talking about it without sending you somewhere where you can actually read about the real problem.
Smart.
And,
Like and subscribe.
Thanks, everyone. We love you.
Good night.